Last month was a pretty busy month for me. I got a lot of work to do. I also got a lot of YouTube review videos I need to finish. And I also got my 2 miniature photography workshop that I did with Laura. So now I finally got a little bit more spare time. So last night after dinner, I suddenly saw my Leica Q on my camera shelf. I bought this camera back in 2018. But the last few years, I really haven't used this camera a lot. I always feel a bit sad when I see this camera on my camera shelf because it is such a good camera. Technically, it may not be as good as some of the latest camera, but its 24 megapixel full frame sensor and the lens are still really good. And I just love the feeling and control of the camera. So I quickly charged the battery of the camera, and then I jumped on my car and drove to the Auckland City Centre as I want to walk around and take some photos with my Leica Q. Because Auckland is not a very big city, there are not that many places that I can walk around and take photos. So quite often when I go out and do a photo walk, I would like to give myself some special route that I have to follow. It's just a way for me to make things a little bit more interesting. So this time I decided I want all my photos to be black and white. What I did is I changed the setting on my camera and set the display to monochrome. So this way, even when I'm framing the photo, I will see everything in black and white. Taking photo in black and white and color are quite different. When I take photo in color, quite often I will look for different color and how color can work together. While when I take photo in black and white, I will look for things like contrast or patterns. So setting the camera screen to monochrome could help me to see the contrast and patterns. When I arrived city, it was just around sunset time. So the sky still has a little bit of sunlight, but I know in 10 or 15 minutes, everything will turn dark. So this is the first photo I shot just outside the car park building. There's still a little bit of sunlight in the sky, which helped to create a bit of contrast in this photo. And then when I was walking across the pedestrian bridge, I saw the beautiful sky. And then the sky tower was far away, but pretty much right in the center. So I shot this photo with a slightly slow shutter speed to create a little bit of motion blur. When I turned around, I saw some cars was right in front of the traffic light. Some people are crossing the street, so I quickly snapped another photo. I quite like taking photo of streets when there are some letters or words written on the street. To me, that just makes the photo looks a bit more interesting. Stairs are always an interesting location to take photo. So this stair with its lines and patterns looks pretty interesting. But if I just take a photo of the stair itself, it looks a little bit boring. So I stood there for a few minutes. Finally, there were some people walk up the stair, and I shot this photo with a slightly slow shutter speed because I feel the focus of this photo is the stair. And also notice how I position the frame. So if you look at the top 2 corners, there are 2 diagonal lines coming out from the corner. And then I walk along the waterfront. As it was a Saturday night, the area could be quite busy. A lot of people were riding those electric scooters, and I did a panning shot and took this photo when one of the electric scooters went past me. I saw the Park Hyatt Hotel right in front of me. The sky was absolutely beautiful, and there was just that last bit of sunlight still in the sky. I shot this photo once again with a pretty slow shutter speed. Leica Q's optical image stabilizer is not really that good, so I have to rest my arm on the rail of the bridge, which allows me to take this photo at a pretty slow shutter speed. There is a new swimming pool there right next to the bridge, and a lot of people were still having fun swimming there. I was hoping to take some photos of someone jump into the pool, but I stood there for a while. Nobody was doing that, but I saw some of the boys were there taking a group photo, so I took a photo of those people when they were taking a group photo. I quite like the composition of this photo because you can see the swimming pool, and then you can see all those shoes and other things on the left side, and you can see the Auckland City far away in the background. And then I continue to walk and just shot this photo. Nothing really special about this photo, but I do still quite like it because I think it captures the mood and vibe of the area quite well. There are quite a few restaurants and bars around there. So I stopped at one of the restaurants and took this photo. When I took this photo, I focused the camera at the bar because that's the brightest thing in the whole scene. But now I look at the photo again, I feel I should have focused the camera on those persons sitting right at the center of the photo. I feel if I do it that way, the photo can tell a better story. Then I turned around, I saw some bright light and the buildings, which I think is the base of the Emirate Team New Zealand sailing team. I like the contrast and also the reflection, but now I look at the photo, I wish the lens on my Leica Q could be a little bit longer because there's too much black area in the photo. I would prefer if I shot this photo with a 50mm focal length lens instead. While I could crop my photo to get that kind of result, but these days when I'm shooting photos for myself, I would prefer not to do any additional cropping when I'm editing the photo. Sometimes I may do some very minor cropping or rotation of the photo, but I would try to force myself to get the framing as good as possible before I click the shutter button. I suddenly saw this lady riding a bicycle coming towards me, so I just quickly panned the camera and shot one photo. I didn't even have time to change any settings, but luckily the photo turns out pretty nice. So there was a night market in that area that evening. There were quite a few different food stores selling different kind of food. So of course this is a great opportunity for me to take some more photos. For this photo, I saw this family was standing in front of one of the stores, and I think that was the elder brother was talking to his younger brother, probably asking him what does he want. I thought that is a very lovely scene, so I took this photo and I really like it because I think the photo captures a beautiful story. Then I saw this lady was buying a bintang hulu from that store. I waited until she turned around so that I can capture a photo with her face visible in the photo. And also she was kind of like looking at the other kid that was just in front of the camera. And I think that also adds a little bit more story to this photo. Then I saw this another store. They were selling some dumpling and some other Chinese food, and I thought this is a very interesting scene. I think it's just the composition, the lighting, and everything just works together pretty well. I really love this photo. After I shot the last photo, I turned around as I want to take some photo of the other people around the area. So some of the area is actually quite dark. So I have to shot some of the photos with a pretty high ISO. While the photos can be quite noisy, but I myself don't really mind the noise at all, especially after these photos are converted to black and white. I think the noise just adds a bit of character to the photos. And another photo from the same area. I really like the two little kids on the right side. They were enjoying the food and the drink that their parents bought for them. And then I stopped in front of this Japanese sake bar because I really like the lighting there. So there were some really bright lights there, which create some beautiful contrast. I was standing there and wait until one of the staff noticed me, and I shot this photo when he was looking at me and my camera. And one more photo of this little kid that he was waiting for his food. I also really like the lighting. I really like the highlight on his face. And then I continued to walk and I heard some music. Turns out there was a DJ set there and I noticed the DJ was really young. So I went there and took some photos around that area. And when I was taking photo, one of the person there came and asked me to take a photo of him. This was a really challenging photo because he was wearing a black mask and a black jacket and we were in a shadow area, so it was quite dark there as well. Luckily, the Leica Q was able to focus on him successfully and the photo turns out not too bad. But if I'm going to take this photo again, I would probably ask him to turn around so he's not in shadow. So that would be much easier for the camera to focus on him. And I think the photo will probably turn out much better than this photo. And then I keep walking all the way to the end and there were some really expensive super yacht parked there. I want to take a photo of this yacht, but because the sky was already come pretty dark, and I was shooting in black and white, so it was actually pretty hard to take a nice photo. I shot a few photos from different angles and this is the photo I like the most. So I was in that area for about an hour and I decided I will walk back to the car park and go home. But as I was walking back towards the car park, I saw there was a wall with some pretty interesting shadow there. And after about a minute or so, I found a composition that I like. So I stood there for a few more minutes as I don't want to just shoot a photo of the wall. So finally, I got two people walking the scene from the right side, pretty much exactly how I wanted, and I took this photo. This is the last photo I shot. I really like how the light and shadow look in this scene and it's almost symmetrical, but the scene itself looks a bit boring. So I stood there for a while and finally there was someone riding an electric scooter and I shot this photo when he was right in the middle of the scene. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short photo walk video. Maybe drop a comment below and let me know which is the photo that you like the most. And thank you very much for watching this video.